Hey, what's up guys, RollieRodz here, and today we're talking more Ret Paladin. We're talking new tier set, we're gonna talk some nerfs, and we're gonna go over a few potential builds that we could see coming into Dragonflight. Let's get into it. All right, so let's talk tier sets. So our new two-piece is Judgment, Blade of Justice, and Wake of Ashes / Radiance Decree damage is increased by 15%. Our four-piece is Templar's Verdict, Final Verdict, and Divine Sword damage increased by 10%. Now, a lot of people think that this is a very boring tier set. I personally am very much okay with this tier set. Flat percent damages to our hard-hitting abilities. It's an easy win for Blizzard at this state in the beta. They completely removed what they had planned for us, had to come up with something quick. I think this is a good middle ground for us to where it's not changing our gameplay like the Consecration tier set, and it's just flat damage increases for us after we got nerfed. I think it's a win. All right, so let's get into the nerfs. Templar's Verdict was nerfed by about 35% according to Blizz. There's nothing more to say. Our big single target damage was nerfed. A lot of these next talents are going to be how they affect our holy power generation. Blizzard thought that our holy power generation was too much. Ashes to Dust, Art of War has a 20% chance to reset the cooldown of Wake of Ashes. It was 35%, now it is 20. Executioner Sentence, they nerfed the extra damage from 20% to 10%. This one is a little strange to me because Executioner Sentence was already really not good, and now it is just absolutely not good. I personally think that whole left side of the tree is essentially unusable. We'll go over it more in the builds. Final Verdict, just like Templar's Verdict, was nerfed as well. Templar's Vindication, Templar's Verdict has a 15% chance to strike again for 10% of its damage. It was 30%, and rank 2 they lowered it from having a 30% chance to a 15% chance to strike again, and again a nerf from 30% to 20%. Again, this is just a nerf to Templar's Vindication / Final Verdict, our big single target spender. Zeal Judgment empowers you with Holy Zeal, causing your next 2 auto attacks to occur 30% faster. They nerfed it from 3 to 2. This one to me, I feel was kind of not needed. Zeal, the next 3 auto attacks, it was fine. I think it felt good. At 2, it's like, it almost feels bad to take it because it feels like 2 autos is not enough. 3 was already pretty low. But again, this is just a nerf to Art of War procs, which is Holy Power Generation. Rune Carving powers, that's Final Verdict. Our general spells, Judgment, our Greater Judgment was nerfed from 25% increased damage of our next Holy Power ability to 20%. Again, just a nerf to our Holy damage. Divine Purpose, Holy Power abilities have a 15% chance to make your next Holy Power ability free and deal 15% damage. It was 20%, just more spender nerfs. Judgment causes the target to take 20% increased damage. We already talked about this one. Seal of Reprisal. So Seal of Reprisal was your damaging holy power spending abilities deal 5% damage at rank 1 and 10% damage at rank 2. Now what it is just a flat 5% rank 2 10% increased damage on Crusader Strike. We'll talk more about this when we go over the talents. Seal of the Crusader, your attacks have a chance to cause the target to take 3% was 5% increase holy damage for 5 seconds. At rank 2, it was 10%, it's now 6%. And the last one, Zealous Paragon, Hammer of Wrath and Judgment deal 10% increased damage and extend the duration of your wings. It was 1 second, now it is half a second. All right, and now let's get to the talent trees. So not a whole lot changes on the Ret side of things. You're still gonna take, I feel you're still gonna take Lay on Hands, Blessing of Freedom, Fist of Justice, Greater Judgment. You're gonna take Cavalier. Again, Seasoned Warhorse is an area of contention. Some people like it, or nobody likes it. Some people think it's absolutely useless and will go pick something else. It's totally up to you. You're going to take Avenging Wrath. Holy Aegis is really good. Rebuke. Here's Seal of Reprisal. Your Crusader Strike is now going to deal 10% increased damage. There's nothing else to take other than Seal of Reprisal, so you're still going to take it. It is just a nerf to our holy damage. Still going to take Bop. You're still going to take Improved Bop. Unbreakable Spirit, I think, is a lock-in. So here there is a little bit of play, but it really depends on what you want. You can take Judgment of Light or you can take Blessing of Sacrifice. Either one, it's totally up to you and your playstyle. For me personally, I'm going to take Sacrifice and I'm going to take Recompense because it's a potential for more damage versus Judgment of Light is just healing. Healing's fine. I want to do damage. Over here on the other side, Incandescence or Touch of Light, because we're not playing the Consecration build anymore, Touch of Light will probably pull ahead of Incandescence just because we're casting Consecration less. I didn't get a whole lot of time to test this, so for now, my default I think is going to be Touch of Light, and we're still going to take Hollow Ground for increased Consecration damage for when we cast Consecration. Seal of the Crusader is still good. We're still going to take Zealot's Paragon, even though it was nerfed. It's still a very good talent. Aspirations of Divinity we're taking because we want Of Dusk and Dawn, and Seal of Order. Seal of Might, we still like it. Sanctified Wrath still does not work with Crusade. People say it's a bug. People say it's not a bug. We're waiting for Blizzard to see if there's going to be any clarification on that. But because it doesn't work with Crusade, we will be using Divine Purpose. So that's your Paladin tree. Areas that have some leeway. Again, I said Seasoned Warhorse. We can go Repentance, Blinding Light, Devo Aura if you're being forced to take Devo Aura. Turn Evil if you need it. I haven't found a reason to use Turn Evil yet in beta, so it's just utility. Again, you can go Judgment of Light. You could go Golden Path, but again, you're not casting Consecration too much. You could go Judgment of Light and After Image instead of Blessing of Sacrifice and Recompense if you want to do some off healing, because that's just going to lead you down to Seal of Order anyway. I don't think there's any reason to take Obduracy or Seal of Alacrity. There's just better talents around that you would rather take. So I don't think there's any reason to take these. All right, let's move on over to the Ret tree. Obviously, we're gonna take Blade of Justice. We're gonna take Divine Storm. We're gonna take Art of War. I am a Holy Crusader gamer. I think 2% mastery is great. Increased damage to our Holy Power abilities is always good. Holy Blade, extra Holy Power. We need that. I love Divine Protection. I think it's better than Shield of Vengeance. If you want to do a little extra damage, you can do Shield of Vengeance, but man, you're going to be squishy. Blade of Wrath, we're going to take that. Improved Judgment. I'm going to come back to Improved Crusader Strike. Imperium Power, we like that. High Lord's Judgment. For me, I think Inner Grace is still really good because outside of Wings, I feel like we're struggling with Holy Power. I know that they nerfed a lot of that stuff because I think it was because of Wings. Our burst was really, really, really strong, and so they had to tame that. So that's why I think that's why we got the Holy Power generation and the nerf to our spenders. Wake of Ashes is good. Crusade is the pick there. Ashes to Dust, I think, is still the pick here. Healing Hands, unless you like to be selfish. Now here, these three, there's going to be some testing that we're going to have to do with these three to see which one's best. Right now, for me, these two were pretty close. I didn't get a chance to test Expurgation before beta closed down last night. So Expurgation, Seal of Wrath, or Consecrated Blade, you're gonna take one of these because you're gonna want to get to Zeal. Consecrated Blade is tied to Art of War. You know, it could potentially be good damage if you get a lot of Art of War procs. For me personally, I think Seal of Wrath might be better because I'm casting way more judgments, and we'll talk more about it later, but you're casting way more judgments than Blades of Wraths that are getting reset by Art of War. And 25% chance to throw a second hammer is pretty good. Expurgation could potentially be good depending on how your crit is. These are still open for debate, but honestly, if you just like Consecrated Blade, you can take Consecrated Blade. It's really up to you, but we'll see. This will probably be a sim angle right here. Truth Wakes is another one that potentially be used in this area. You know, because we got the nerf to Ashes to Dust and Art of War, Truce Wake loses some value there. It still has huge value in Cleave or in Mythic Plus, but for single target, I think Seal of Wrath might beat out Truth's Wake, but we'll see. Another area I want to look at is Righteous Verdict. So because we're taking Divine Purpose, where your Holy Power abilities can trigger a free Holy Power spender, you're probably going to be using Final Verdict, in which case the next one you're going to hit is Final Verdict again. So Righteous Verdict gets some value there. We'll talk about Improved Crusader Strike again, like I said. Potentially could be used. Let's see. Okay, so we need one of these to get down here. So Templar's Vindication, even though it was nerfed, we like it because we love Final Verdict. Ashes to Ashes, we're still going to want to take Ashes to Ashes. It opens these up, so we have to take it. I am going to be taking Divine Toll and Divine Resonance, and the reason for this is Zealot's Paragon, which increases the damage of Judgment by 10%, and Judgment increases our Wings duration by half a second. Divine Toll triggers this, Divine Resonance triggers this. On top of that, the Divine Resonance Judgments also empower Final Verdict. If you play it correctly, Divine Resonance gives you huge value during wings, as well as every minute that you can cast Divine Toll. It helps with Holy Power generation. Now that they have nerfed Art of War, I really think that we need to have that extra Divine Resonance casts. Because we're going to be casting Judgment so much, Virtuous Command, I think, is an automatic lock-in for us. And I want to take 1 rank of Vanguard's Momentum for the extra Hammer of Wrath. Because of Zealot's Paragon, that extra Hammer of Wrath extending our wings is huge for us. I know some people might be sad. Final Reckoning kind of falls behind here. I would love to have Final Reckoning, but the passive is just not triggering enough. And because I'm trying to extend my wings so much, Hammer of Wrath and Judgments become really important to cast up on the priority list. And because of Dusk and Dawn, we're trying to get to 5 Holy Power a lot, which overall results in more powerful Final Verdicts. I think that in conjunction with the fact that Final Reckoning is only 8 seconds, I get 8 seconds to blast, I think that puts Final Reckoning back a little bit on the priority list. And truth be told, I just don't have enough talent points down here to justify taking it. I think the extension of wings from Divine Resonance and Vanguard's Momentum outweighs the value of Final Reckoning. Now let's go back to Improved Crusader Strike. There's an argument to be made for Improved Crusader Strike solely on the fact that it gives you more Holy Power. I've said in the past that Crusader Strike is a bad ability. It does very little damage. Even with this buff of Seal of Reprisal, Crusader Strike was still doing very little damage in my very quick testing. However, when we get to those 1.5, 2.5 minute marks where our wings are down, we don't have access to Hammer of Wrath anymore. You know, Zeal has been nerfed. We're kind of starving for that Holy Power now. So there is an argument to be made for Improved Crusader Strike. Now, where would I make up the extra talent point for that? You could make it up in Consecrated Blade. You could make it up in Righteous Verdict. Remember, you have to take one of these here. So if you end up taking Consecrated Blade and you don't take Seal of Wrath, okay, you can move that over there. One of these talents and Truth's Wake potentially will have to give up their talent point to get Improved Crusader Strike. You can also take Righteous Verdict and move it. I don't like to take Righteous Verdict because it buffs Divine Purpose, which buffs Final Verdict, and I think that is going to be more damage than Improved Crusader Strike over time. If I had to guess right now without testing anything, I would probably say Seal of Wrath, Improved Crusader Strike, Righteous Verdict, Zeal, Templar's Vindication, Final Verdict, Vanguard's Momentum, Ashes to Ashes, Divine Toll, Divine Resonance, and Virtuous Command. I think single target wise, this is going to feel the best and produce the most amount of damage. We're going to be getting more Holy Power with Improved Crusader Strike. When we get these Divine Purpose procs, we're going to be doing more damage with Final Verdict because of Righteous Verdict, because we're taking Divine Toll, and because Divine Resonance can also trigger Seal of Wrath. We're going to be getting extra damage. We still have Improved Judgment, so we're going to be casting Judgment as much as we can. Judgment is a huge ability for us right now, so getting a little bit of extra potential power out of it is great. Again, Expurgation and Consecrated Blade may do enough damage in there. Depending on how your crit is, this could be good. Truth's Wake, you know, buffing one of our biggest abilities is great. In a cleave in single target, I don't know if it's going to be good. I think this is our single target build right here. All right, so now let's talk some N+. So Blade of Justice, Divine Storm, Art of War, Holy Crusader, I love those. Improved Judgment is good. Imperium Power is obviously good for us. Holy Blade, again, Divine Protection, Shield of Vengeance, whatever, whichever you like. Wake of Ashes, Ashes to Dust, Truth's Wake. There is a potential that Avenging Wrath could be used because Sanctified works with Avenging Wrath, and with Sanctified you do splash damage, so potentially Sanctified Wrath could be really good because we're getting Avenging Wrath Might and we're getting increased critical chance, so your Divine Storms are going to be pumping. In M+, I think you have to take Healing Hands. You can't be selfish in M+. I would take Consecrated Blade because they just extra consecrations. Tempest of the Lightbringer is a go-to. Now here you could go Sanctification, getting a little more Holy Power. We'll go Ashes to Ashes for sure. Divine Toll, Divine Resonance, Virtuous Command, Final Reckoning. I took Imperium Legacy just because it allowed me to get an extra Divine Storm off and still do damage to a prio target. I think it's great. I would take Sanctify because you are casting Consecrated Blade and you're always casting Divine Storm. And if you get bigger packs, you're gonna want to drop Consecration anyways. And you have one more point. You could take the slow / not be slowed Sanctified Ground or Consecrated Ground. You could take those. If you're starving for Holy Power, you could take Improved Crusader Strike. I still don't think Exorcism is worth it. It's still just, it feels like a giant wrench in the rotation. In all honesty, I haven't done a lot of I did early testing with it. I haven't done any lately. Maybe now that we've had some nerfs, you know, this is good. It could potentially be a pickup here. But I think for me, I would probably take Improved Crusader Strike, again, just for the Holy Power generation. Or, you know, if you need to help your tank out or something like that, you can take Consecrated Ground, all that stuff. But yeah, I think this would actually be a pretty good M+ build. Avenging Wrath might, with Sanctified Wrath, might be good. There is a potential that you could just go Divine Storm and Crusade, just because Crusade is just a lot of damage. But those are my thoughts, guys. Let me know what you think down in the comments below. I'm going to be trying to do a lot of testing this weekend. I'm really excited, honestly, to see how we stack up now that we are a little more tamed and we have an easier tier set. So I know a lot of people are gloom and doom on Ret, but man, I think there's still some potential here for us to do some really good damage and still bring value to the raid and our team. But let me know what you guys think. I do stream on Twitch and right here on YouTube, so if you'd like to follow me there, you can. I also have a Twitter and I also have a Discord that you can find down in the description below. I'm always available to be hit up on those platforms, so feel free. And if you like the video, please give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe if you enjoy the content. I'm going to be trying to put out more and more Ret content as we get into Dragonflight. That's going to be it for me, guys. I appreciate you stopping by. We'll catch you in the next one.